Hello, this is Fraser Anderson from Vestigo Ventures. Today, I'm here with David Potter, CEO of Curu Credit, Vestigo's newest portfolio company. David, it's great to have you with us today.
Hey, thanks so much, Fraser. I really appreciate that. It's been a pleasure just working with you, but working very closely with Mike and the whole Vestigo team, especially in a time like this. So thankfully, in a time where things might be a little bit tight for people, to be kind of thriving, finding opportunity. It's been an absolute pleasure. So thanks so much. I'm looking forward to chatting.
Excellent. And I suspect that most of our viewers aren't quite yet familiar with your story. So I think if you could just start by telling us, what made you decide to build this company and what is it that you guys do?
Yeah, absolutely. So just very quickly a bit on what we do. So Curu is a service that enables lenders to fund more loans and recover rejected applicants. Now, before going a little bit deeper into that, I like starting with the why behind the what. So a little bit on our story leading up to Curu. My co-founder and myself, we studied at the University of Maryland, and we applied for housing a tad late, and we were in a forced triple room. So it was space for one person, but it was three roommates. So we nonetheless, we got pretty close. But then the next year, we're looking at getting a bit more space. We're living off campus. And when we applied for off-campus housing, we ended up getting rejected, not just for one off-campus apartment, but we got rejected for 13 straight housing opportunities. This wasn't because we didn't have enough money to afford it. If anything, actually, we both had full-ride scholarships. My co-founder, Ad, had a full-ride scholarship from the school and was studying computational finance and electrical engineering. And I also had a full-ride scholarship from Bill Gates that was covering school up until my doctorate and was in finance and marketing. The only reason why we didn't get approved for housing was because almost a byproduct of not having student loans is we didn't have an established credit score. So we couldn't get approved. We weren't fortunate enough to have a co-signer, and we're stuck between a rock and a hard place. So we did what we could do. We asked our parents or friends. They didn't know too much, so we couch surfed, learned more about credit, and after a few months of summer school, we were able to establish our own credit scores and be able to successfully get housing. But really that pain point really struck up the passion that we had in solving some problems with the credit system. We earned certification in credit counseling and began to help other students, parents, and immigrants learn more about credit, secure their first lines of credit or even housing. And from there, we built up a practice. It was about 300 different clients. And having a full-time student load as well as 300 clients was a handful, to say the least. So at that point, we began to look to automate some of these insights or practices. We're using services like Credit Karma to track the user's credit score, and we're using other services like Mint Bills to track their payments. And then we would email or send them text recommendations on things that they can do to improve their credit score eligibility. And at that point, we began to measure how people liked this service. And they liked it a little bit more than they liked working with us, which was a bit more offensive, but we enjoyed it. We leaned into it because it was a bit more scalable. And at that point, things really began to take off. We turned this into a consumer app on the App Store, and that was the first live version of Curu. And that was in the App Store from May 2018. And over the next year and a half, we learned some major insights. We're learning that consumers were building up their credit score, not just to maximize their credit score, but they often had a goal in mind. So again, it was looking to get like housing or their first credit card. And then around that time as well, we're speaking with FIS, and they invest into us and were exposing us to over 80 of the different bank partners. And at that point, we're listening to the problems that they faced. And we learned a very clear pain point that we were able to solve. We're learning that banks and lenders were rejecting 60 to 90% of all of their applicants, typically because they didn't already meet the needed eligibility. So at that point, after listening very closely, we began to reposition our solution B2B. And now that brings us a little bit more to where Curu is today as a lead recovery solution for lenders. So instead of lenders having, say, a hard rejection and a rejection email, we allow them to recover this experience or extend that rejection experience or approval decision for them to be able to say a yes, but here are the actions they need to take. So we integrate with our partners' eligibility criteria, credit score, alternative data, whatever it be. And our recommendations are tailored and personalized to the applicant to help them get approved as fast as possible. So I know that covered a fair amount, but I hope that was a good 360.
No, that's fantastic. And I think when I hear automating a services business and using kind of a bespoke recommendation engine, I suspect there's some machine learning under the hood here. Could you maybe talk a little bit how you guys use ML to basically solve your customers' needs and allow your users to convert to the credit product or financial product that they want?
Yeah, so ML, you're absolutely right. ML has been a strong part of our strategy and infrastructure. So a big part of our play is like data, having your data well structured and seeing how that scales very well. So with the credit system, a very annoying thing when it comes to the consumers or even lenders is that it's a hidden system when it comes to eligibility. So that makes it very hard for applicants or anyone to directly coach or know what is best to improve, say, their eligibility or their credit score. The way that we've leveraged machine learning is as we gain scale, machine learning gives us large efficiencies and opportunity to be able to speed up the time for a user to get approved and the impact of our recommendations. So the way that it does this is based on different user profiles, whether it be an immigrant that may have just come out of India, or if it's a 25-year-old that's rebuilding some of their credit lines and looking to dispute errors. Our system is being sensitive to the profiles that the user has, their bank data, and which recommendations are having the most behavioral change and impact, not just to their credit score, but to them getting approved for the full eligibility for the financial products. So really, as we network amongst not just, say, a credit card partner, but a loan partner, a student loan refinancing partner, each of these networks allow our solution to have greater efficiencies across that wider spread net.
Fantastic. And can you tell us a little bit more about the go-to-market strategy, specifically the importance of point of rejection? I know, specifically for us, this is part of the reason we got so excited about Curu as we watched the sort of evolution to an enterprise solution. And I know this resonated a lot with the other people on the cap table that we spoke to. So if you'd go into a little bit, that'd be great.
Yeah, 1,000,000%. That excites me too. I think that was a key insight in the evolution of the model and staying close to our consumers. So almost going full circle to what I was mentioning in the beginning of our story, where we really ran into this problem was where we ended up getting rejected and felt trapped. It was a bad experience for us and we didn't know what to do. On the other side, that was a lost opportunity for every single one of those 13 housing complexes that we applied to. So then as we began to release the solution into the market, we learned that we faced other similar challenges. So one, from the business side, was on the consumer angle, there was a saturation when it came to credit products going B2C, say Credit Karma, Credit Sesame, NerdWallet. So there was a ton of noise there. When someone will say credit shopping though, or even more so, having that pain point and getting rejected would be that best point to actually activate or capture this user. So as we were on the consumer side, we were noticing that, again, our users always had a financial goal, were recently credit shopping or had gotten rejected. At that same time, we noticed this was a pain point for the lenders, and this is where we began to connect the dots. So in the consumer model, for all that friction and noise, it may take a year to get 10,000 new users. In this B2B model, an average lender may have 10,000 rejected applicants in a month. So it's really flipping the script and targeting the pain point right where it happens, solving it both for that end user and for the lender. So creating big value for the lender, and the applicant.
Fantastic. And now, aside from being a skilled technologist, I'm very familiar with the fact that you are not only a showman, but also a bit of a fashionista. So I think it's important that you comment on these rumors that I'm starting.
Yeah. I love it. Glad you mentioned that. I'd say that I think with everything I do, everything that team does, there's a lot of passion behind it. So much is an expression or an extension of self. So, I think you see that in the product, us being close to the problem and the solution. Maybe you get that a bit in, maybe the Curu polos. But I think, one thing you might be speaking on is almost every time you'll see me or my co-founder pitch or do a presentation. So you can probably find a couple of these on YouTube. Is we have these notorious turtlenecks or like Steve Jobs sweaters that are Curu branded. I would say I enjoy doing it. It's almost like a bit of a super suit. I think people enjoy seeing it. But since you mentioned that, I do have it to show. But this is a bit of what it looks like. Hope that has a nice flashback or callback to either Steve Jobs or now to the Curu founders. But no, I would absolutely say it's an extension of ourselves. We like to have fun when we pitch. We like to connect with who we're speaking with. It's a very genuine problem to us, a very genuine thing we're solving. So, we don't see why not get out there and make sure that we're having a good time and connecting.
Yes, for me, it brings back celebrating your Techstars demo day.
Mm-hmm.
It was a great evening, if a late one. So
Oh yeah,
I guess
that was lovely.
final questions. So where can our viewers learn more about the company? And as everybody watching this is a friend of Vestigo, any asks from our network of friends, LPs, partners?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you are interested, say, in a demo or visiting our website, you can visit us at curucredit.com. That's CURU credit.com. And if you want to send me an email personally, you can reach me at david@curucredit.com. And that being said, in terms of personal asks, so our solution is connecting well, considering the time in the market like this. But that being said, I think being agile is important now. So if either you connect with the solution or what we're doing, or even if you just have a perspective in the market, say in the lending space or as an FI, I would love to connect, build up that relationship, and kick off a conversation. So if either of those would connect with you guys, we would love to speak.
Excellent. David, it's been delightful speaking with you as always. I just can't express how excited we are at Vestigo about your company. And we're definitely looking forward to keeping all the viewers up to date on you and Ab going from success to success and building out this team in this story.
Thanks so much, man. No, it's a really exciting time. Excited to be doing big things with you. Really, really appreciative and have a ton of gratitude for everyone's support. So thank everyone viewing this as well. But we're going to do some big things. So excited to get it all going.
Excellent. Bye for now.
Perfect. Thanks, Fraser. Have a great day.
Bye.